Well, hello everyone, welcome to Diamond Art with Del. Today I've got a little bit of a unbagging video for you guys. This one is something I purchased from Amazon and I wanted to share it with you guys. This one is actually something to do with a different craft. This one is something I wanted to venture into called doing some resin pours, and this one is actually a resin kit that I purchased off Amazon. It's supposed to have lots of different bits and pieces in there, so hopefully it's got everything I will need. We'll find out together. I was a bit of mixed reviews on it, so hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works and everything is good on it. So I decided to jump in and give it a go. So let's see what we've got in the bag. So I got this one, first before I get stuck in the bag. I got this one, plus I also bought a box of actual resin, so I'll just show you that in a moment. But firstly, let's get stuck into this bag. I opened it up so I knew that it was the actual resin kit. I'm going to pop the bag over there. Now, I haven't actually gone any further than that, just opened the bag, seen what it was. Now, it's come with a dust cover or plastic covering as such. I'm going to take that out. Got lots of information and print out on the top there, and it's showing me all the different things I'm supposed to be getting in this kit. So it's a nice starter kit basically, and assuming that's exactly where I'm at. I am starting off with this type of craft. I thought this might be a good item to purchase. I've got a couple of bits and pieces, but since I ordered this, of course, but I think I'll still have lots and lots of fun goodies in here. Now, what I've got is something for some handles, a little carry bag to keep everything together. It's just a little plastic one, a little clip there. But hopefully all these bits and pieces that are listed are inside. And yeah, we'll go through them together. Now, this is basically the itinerary, if you'd like to say, or a list of items that's going to be in it. I've got like my measuring cups. You can sort of see, it's a bit hard to see the printout because it's white with the clear silicone cups. A couple of pairs of gloves, some mixing sticks and so forth. I've got scale and a little resin. This is supposed to be a resin drill, and some drill bits and some keychains and so forth. So we will have a look at all these bits and pieces together. Alrighty, so I can see at the top here, I won't have to pull everything out, but I've got obviously some blue gloves as stated on there, and it looks like a pair of white gloves. Just get the single pair there. Oh, they're quite thick too. So they're not just, they're a bit thicker than your normal disposable gloves, so they would be reusable a few times. They're quite large by the looks of it too. I've only got little hands, but of course, what would you say? You've got to be multi-purpose for most people. I think they would fit most. So, yep, there you go. Not too bad. You might just prefer to go and get your own gloves. Okay, so you get a good size, but you definitely have good size gloves for this kit. Alright, go back in the zip bag, will you? Okay, so I've got a blue pair and a white pair of gloves. Check, check. Now, I've got some disposable cups, and it showed like a bunch of them in the bottom of the piece of paper there, basically. Now, these are just disposable little, very thin little pouring cups. I'm not sure how many I'll get out of those, but I can write that up in the listings. But there is quite a few there. And then I've got another whole bunch as well. Oh, they are really tightly packed in together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, say 10 roughly there. Probably another 10. Yeah, so probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably about 30 little cups, I think. They're probably only single use. They are small. They don't have any kind of amount, like no measurement on the side of them, but they're little pouring cups. What else have we got here? That's my scale. I'm going to have a look at that a bit closer in a moment. There are some mixing tools in here. Okay, which way do you go? That way. Give it a little twist. Oh, they're kind of cute. So I've got a very pointy end one there. It's got little gemstones. Another one. It's got like a flat end. And this one here has more of a spoon tip as well. So those three tools with the little gemstone ends, and then the actual working tips. Still in the plastic, but and I've got a spoon, a sort of flat, and then a pointed end one as well. There we go. Mixing tools. Check, check. Let's pop them to the side. This is the little drill kit that comes with it. So it's a little hand drill, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different size drill bits that come with that. Starting with a 0.8 and going right up to a 3 in mil size. There you go. And they just sort of, what I can tell, I haven't actually used this of course yet. Yeah, they'll just go into, there we go, into the end of the drill, hand drill there. And you can use that to spin. And that way you can drill little holes into your resin for your jewellery making and so forth. There we go. So one little hand drill. Very handy little tool for polymer clay too. So it's something else I've been going to play around with. I've got lots and lots of that too. Different coarse sander, or in this case it's nail filing for smooth nail, shiny nails. So different levels of sanding. Of course, you can dip the fine edges of your resin using that. Check, check. I have, they're all fairly loose actually. I might just grab you instead. Pair of tweezers comes with the kit. And these are nice fine, the nice fine pointy nose tweezers in there as well. Be handy for diamond painting if you haven't already got some of these in your kit. Something else would be quite handy for that. I have got some jewellery ends. Some more keychains, and of course my little nail covers. We'll go to that. So there's quite a lot in there. I've got both silver and the gold colour. As well. So if you're making some jewellery pieces, you can add those. Oops, I'm getting my hands around the wrong way again. Some sandpaper. Yep. Abrasive paper, waterproof. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of that. All different types, of course, going from quite heavy to very, very fine levels of sandpaper. 150cc, 800cc, right down to 2000. So there you go, right down to a very fine types of sandpaper. So we can, you know, buffer all those edges, keep things nice and smooth. Well, my stirring sticks are coming out everywhere because they are just in a little bit of a paper band, and it's really hard to get out and around those handles, honestly, of that bag. There we go. I've got a big heap of stirring sticks to stir your resin with, and that was just around it loosely. So once you move that, yeah, they all sort of came out everywhere, so that might be either go in a zip bag or a plastic band or something to repack those. And of course I've got my little silicone measuring cups and things. So I've got a tiny little one there. What else we got? I've got some smaller, 2 smallish little tiny ones, only very small those. Small, very small pouring silicone reusable jugs. And then I have the bigger measuring cups here to be able to measure and pour into. Now these ones, it's a bit hard to see on the camera, but you can feel the ridging there. It definitely has got the measurements up the side. You can make it out not too bad. It's a bit hard to come up on the camera, but you can see the 20, 40, 60, 80, etc., up to 100 mils on these containers. And they're reusable silicone resin measuring cups. Okay, so that's sort of what you want to use. I'm only at this stage planning to make small items, so little cups like this are fine. Of course, if you wanted to make bigger items, you're going to need bigger cups. I'm not sure how these will go. I suppose these would be very handy if you're doing some mix of small colours and things like that. As I said, I haven't even tried this yet, so I have no idea what I'm in for. But I thought I would show you all the little cool things that's in this kit. Sorry I don't know all the proper little names and references and so forth, but yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to just show you guys all the interesting little bits and pieces that come in a kit like this. And it's sort of a very interesting way, a good starter kit, I think. Good starter kit. You get bits and pieces of everything. How much you use of all of it, we'll find out. Now this was something I thought was going to be very handy. Part of it was an actual mat. Oh, look at it stick together. So this is just a nice big silicone mat to put down, so I can put that down on my work surface, and while I'm doing my pours and so forth, make it a lot easier for cleanup. I'm thinking this is going to be a very messy type of craft, and something like this, even though I don't care about this table, this is my crafty table, the fact that it will stick and keep my surface, it'll be stable. It's going to stick to the table, yep. Keep everything nice and steady and sturdy while I'm pouring my bits and pieces and stirring. It will be very handy to have a working space like that. So therefore I can stir and mix, so forth, and not worry about making a mess. As you say, for myself, I've got a table that is designed for that kind of purpose, but if haven't got a kind of workspace, then these sort of mats would be very, very handy. Look, I've got a broken stick. Who knew? Who cares? But there we go. So that is those parts of the kit. They're quite sturdy little jugs, those ones. But we haven't looked at is the little pocket scale. Now this is the one little part of this kit that got 1 or 2 mentions about not working, etc. And that was something that was making me question buying the whole thing, basically. Because it was, have a quick look at my receipt, it was just over $32 Australian for this kit. So, you know, it was not exactly the cheapest amount of money to lay out. So I didn't really want to lay out that kind of money and then find out something wasn't working. But then I thought, well, I will still have a lot of definitely usable items out of it, if you know what I mean. It was still going to cost, just for like some pouring jugs and so forth, and a mat, it's like $15, and another kit and things like that. So even though, yeah, I sort of tried to justify it anyway, basically. But if it didn't work, it wasn't going to be all bad. I was still going to get something out of it. So, moment of truth. So it does actually supply you with batteries. A lot of these things don't these days. So I'm just going to tilt this in the right direction of the light so I can get the batteries in the right direction. It has AAA batteries. In you go. Ah, success. It has got power. Well, that's good. Now, aha, there we go. So it's got a nice little cover for its scale. I don't know if that's coming up. You can see the numbers there. So it can do different types of units, has on and off. So a few different types of buttons. Ah, got to open the lid again. Get my finger in there, a little bit fidgety. So you can turn that backlight off, or you can have it on. To be able to see the numbers, I'll just turn it off for now. You can change the units, you can see different things there. You've got grams, ounces, etc. Yeah, I don't know, a few different things there. You can turn it on and off. I'd like that back on again. So it is working. There we go. So reset it to 0. I don't know, it's due on there. Just for the, yep. So that is reading that at 23.3. So that is actually weighing the item. I was going to move a little bit while I'm doing it, but there you go. I can show you that that little scale is actually working. So hooray. That was the only bit that I was concerned about by some of the reviews. So maybe they were a very unlucky person or two that got some bad ones. But yeah, there we go. Turn that off. And as I say, it's got a little cover to protect the buttons and so forth. And while you're using your resin, if you've got that lying around the place, well, I'd probably leave that cover shut just in case you're splashing some of that around. So there we go. So this is the silicone resin measuring cup toolkit for epoxy resin mixing. It has all these measuring cups and 2 sets of gloves, some mixing tools which are in here. They're quite pretty too with their little gems. It all matches with pinks and so forth. I'll just leave them in there. Some assorted parts and pieces for your jewelry making sort of resin stuff, which is handy. So you can put your little screw tops and whatnot in. A little hand drill. Not sure how that'll work, but we'll test that out once we've actually got something poured. The little acrylic things I made will be handy for that, but they already had a preset hole, so I don't need to use it on those, but that could be handy for those as well. I've got a little sanding block to smooth off edges. Again, I've got my own little electric sander sort of thing, so, but there is times where you can't run that at night, so I can use my hand block instead to do some work. So that's going to be handy for that. Of course, I've got different courses of sandpapers. I might maybe put that, I might put that just at the top of the pile there. Can you still see that? Yeah, that's cool. And I got some tweezers, which can put them there. A big bundle of sticks for mixing. May as well put you in there too. Came with a carry bag. So I think that's all my items. Yeah, so I'm just going to check off from the image. This is what they give me. It looks like I've got those 2 jugs. I've got these 2 little tiny ones, which is those 2 in there. I'll just pop them over there. So that's those 2. I've got these pouring little plastic jugs, these reusable ones there. Then my 2 sets of gloves, my sticks, which are, whoops, out of shot now because I've gotten too far around. Whoops, sorry about the creaky crunchies. So, where was I? Pouring sticks are down here. All these keychains and so forth all in together, and my little finger covers, I think that's what they call them. In that container, my drills, check. The scale, my mixing, my metal tools, we'll say that. Some tweezers, yes, these are pink in this picture, but I've got black ones, so that's fine. My sanding block, my me and 1 little disposable cups, which are those. My rolling mat, which is indicated pink, and I've got that underneath. And my 4 different courses of sandpaper, which are at the top there. So yeah, it looks like I've got everything in that kit sent to me. All the background's obviously decoration. Very cool, eh? So there we have it. This is yeah, a little silicone resin kit that I decided to get from Amazon, and I think it's not too bad. It's got quite a lot of different elements into it. Some of those bigger tools I was interested in was the little hand drill and the little scale, and of course these little resin cups I thought was really going to be a very handy part of the actual kit to get started with. These sort of things like measuring, like little mixing sticks and that you can obviously get from your junk shops and so forth, and gloves, well, whatever, but yeah, some of it was very handy and I thought it was a nice little way of getting started. So there you go. So I got this one from Amazon, so have a look on there. I have a bit of trouble trying to link things off Amazon, so I'm sorry if I won't be able to do that for you, but have a browse. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. The other thing I also got from there was, of course, in the big box, it came separate, and that was the actual resin. So just so that you can see, I've actually got some resin, and I've just bought it like so. And it's a 2-part epoxy resin, which I will have to mix and play around with that. So I'll just make some space here. You just move over it a little bit, just so I can open this. You might as well. It's a resin show today, not a diamond painting show. Oh, that was effort. Oh, totally shake. So I've got some no mix acrylic type resin stuff. I play with that very, very loosely, but this is the proper stuff. So this is Platinum Premier Epoxy. So this is the, yeah, this is the proper epoxy type resin stuff. Ultra Clear is an Australian made 2-part crystal clear epoxy resin. So there we go. Of course, there's lots of different brands and so forth, but I just came across this one. It was, can't remember the cost, but it was fairly good price for the amount I was getting. This is a 750ml kit, and this is actually I bought 2 kits to make sure I had plenty of resin to make mistakes with, because I'm sure I will. So this is part A. So this is, as you can see there, which I mix with, of course, this one, which is Ultra Clear, part B, part of the 750ml kit. And what does it say on here? Mix ratio 2:1, pot life 1 to 2 hours, initial cure 5 to 8 hours, full cure is 24 hours of take. Maximum depth of 12 millimeters, based on 100ml mix. Okay, so basically none of my molds should exceed 12 millimeters that I work with for these things to set. Cool. I don't think anything like that have I got at this point in my life. So there we go. So that's part A, part B of a 750ml kit. That's how much resin those 2 bottles should make. So I've got those ones, and it's a double up, exactly the same again. So there we are. So I bought that obviously as a separate purchase to the kit, but that is basically all the items I will need to go on my epoxy resin journey, as far as the resin and all my tools. There we go. That is pretty much it of all the stuff I like to share with you today. I hope you liked looking at all these different sort of bits and pieces. It's kind of interesting. I will have a bit of a play with this hopefully in the near future and see what I can create and make. Lots of ideas, of course, going through my mind, but I'll just play with items just to get used to the ratio, mixing and working with the actual product. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when I upload next. Till next time, guys, I'll say see you later. And yeah, catch me in the next video. Bye for now.